What's going on YouTube? Miles Gaten back at you guys with another video, and this video is going to be a little bit different from the previous videos that I've been doing thus far. So I kind of been thinking about it. I actually had a friend recommend it to me in the comment section of one of my previous videos. It was actually the most recent video I did on the sort of shoulder day overview. So he asked if I could make a video explaining what I knew before pursuing bodybuilding. So I thought I'd take that topic and then sort of mesh it together within a kind of like how I got started sort of video, just explaining a little bit more about myself. I know I touched a little bit upon it in my very first video, but I feel as though something of this magnitude, a journey of this magnitude, deserves its very own video. So without further ado, guys, we're going to go ahead and get into this video titled How I Got Started. So the first topic I have on hand is, well, who would have guessed it? It is how I got started. So basically how I got started is, I'm going to take you guys back before I even really cared about bodybuilding, before I even knew really a lot about bodybuilding and things of that nature. So I was always very active growing up, and in high school I really started to take off with wrestling. So in wrestling I really was drawn to it because I loved watching WWE, and originally before becoming a bodybuilder I did really want to become a WWE wrestler, but I quickly lost interest in it after high school, partially due to me not liking how they were using a lot of my favorite wrestlers like CM Punk and people like that. So I kind of gradually lost interest in it. I mean, I still appreciate good professional wrestling, but I just kind of lost interest in WWE. But after that, after high school, I really started to work out a lot, to the point where I was doing cardio like before and after my workouts, essentially, because I was very fixated. I wasn't big, but I always had trouble seeing my six-pack and seeing my abs, so that was like a fixation of mine. I really wanted to see my abs. I just was doing non-stop research. I thought, I'm not seeing my abs because I'm having too much sodium. I'm not seeing my abs because too much salt, or not salt, but sugar. And I'm not seeing my abs because this, that, and the other. And then I finally went ahead and contacted and reached out to my coach, still my coach to this day, Josh Bridgman, and we went ahead. I explained my situation to him, explained my frustration. I'm like, I've been working out, been dieting hard for about 6 months, half a year, and nothing. I have a flat stomach, but I can't see my abs. I can't imagine why. And he messaged back. He was like, well, it may not be so much of a dieting or, just a cutting down issue. It might just be an issue of you not having that strong of abs. So you're not having enough muscle to show through the, to actually show. So after that, we exchanged a few more emails. I went ahead and finally became a client of his. I was always very reluctant to get a sort of coach because I always thought of it as kind of like a crutch, as something like, oh, I always had like a mental thing where it's like, oh, well, I mean, you have a coach, so like it's easy, like, it's much more impressive if you were to do it all by yourself. And but then I quickly realize that some of the top bodybuilders in bodybuilding have coaches. So what makes me any different? These are the best of the best, the elite at bodybuilding, the elite of their craft. So there's no shame whatsoever in reaching out to like a coach or a trainer or just anybody for advice. So yeah, that really is what sort of sparked the ambition for me to want to improve my body. It all came from my abs, believe it or not. that drive. You always hear people say like, oh well, I just want to see my abs and then I'm gonna stop going to the gym. I feel as though if it's a strong enough like sort of goal for you, that won't be enough for you. See, for me, I have a very addictive personality, so whenever I want something, I can't stop. So that want for me to want to see my abs and doing the cardio and doing all the workouts and the exercising created an addict out of me to where I just absolutely loved going to the gym. Just even thinking about the gym makes me happy. It just puts me in a great state of mind, and it just overall boosts my morale. It's just always interesting looking back on it, how I always used to go to the gym periodically back in high school whenever I was I was bored, I had nothing to do. My mom was going to go to Zumba, so I might as well tag along and go ahead and do a quick chest workout or something like that. But it really is very interesting to look back on that journey and that experience and just see how just my want for abs was able to basically push the rest of my physique to where I would just say, nothing was perfect for me. I just always wanted to gradually carve and sculpt my physique, because at the end of the day, I draw a lot of inspiration from Sean Ray, because Sean Ray has stated on numerous occasions that when he was competing, he did not think of himself as a bodybuilder, because he was on the shorter end and he couldn't really outmuscle a lot of the guys he was going up against, like a Kevin Levrone, a Dorian Yates, a Ronnie Coleman. So he thought of himself more as an artist. Like, he would look at himself and just pose in the mirror to where he would just hide his glaring weaknesses when standing next to those guys. So thinking about it from not just like, oh, I'm a bodybuilder, I'm just trying to throw on random slabs of muscle, it makes it much more deep in wanting to solidify and perfect my physique. Just thinking as myself as a canvas for my art. My brain is the artist and my body's a canvas. So just being able to paint an ideal version of myself or even get close to that is just a big dream for me. So it definitely spiraled my life in a very great direction, I would say. All right, and moving on to the second topic I have is what I wish I knew before starting bodybuilding. So there isn't very much let me readjust this. There isn't very much I wish I had known before starting bodybuilding. With bodybuilding, everything is pretty straightforward. It's just a matter of people trying to overcomplicate steps. People try to overcomplicate steps because people, at the end of the day, they want a shortcut. They want a easy way out. They already know what they have to do. They just want to see how they can get that done with less effort or just more easily. So, but if I had to nitpick something I wish I knew before starting bodybuilding is, I wish I would have known it's not about the weight, it's more about the mind-muscle connection. For a while, I was I watched Cali Muscle a lot, and the analogy he made was the muscle's like a balloon, and you're trying to pump up the balloon. So in my mind, when he said that, I'm thinking, okay, so what is a balloon like? How do you blow up a balloon? By continuously blowing it up fast. So my thought on that was, okay, on leg press, I'm just gonna go like this. Whee! Just barely move my legs and just go as fast as possible. When in reality, it's more slowed and controlled movements yield the better pump, the better hypertrophy, and the overall better muscle growth. And it's just one of those things where the fitness industry is just so filled with many different narratives that it's not easy for somebody to get into fitness. It really isn't. As much as people want to pretend like it is, it can be very misleading. I was misled with Callie's advice, but I mean, looking back at it, it's just it's interesting how I was able to really withstand that sort of thing for a reasonably long time. But other than that, another thing I wish I knew before starting was how expensive food is, because food is the absolute paramount to bodybuilding. Forget working out, forget massages, the fancy protein shakes, the fancy BCAAs. All of that is trivial in comparison to a nice clean diet. What a lot of people don't understand is protein powder does not make you big. It doesn't build muscle any faster than eating chicken. In pretty much all scenarios, I'll choose an actual meal over a protein shake. A protein shake is just for convenience sake. I don't ever rely on a protein shake. I don't always just look to have a protein shake. A protein shake is kind of like all right, I'm going to be on the go, so I might as well pack this protein shake or take this protein shake within the next hour or so that way I give myself enough room to tide me over to my next meal. I never need protein. As long as you're having good solid meals, good nutritional meals, it's better than having protein powder, in my opinion. And then a lot of the other supplements like BCAAs are a complete luxury supplement, if you ask me. There's nothing crazy you need from BCAAs. Creatine's a different story. Creatine does help, it can help, but the biggest one is protein powder. Protein powder is the absolute biggest sort of misconception within bodybuilding and just building muscle in general. And alright, moving on to topic number 4, we have got what motivates me to keep going. So what motivates me to keep going is just knowing that one day, if I keep the same work ethic I have right now, that I'll be up on that very stage with people like Chris Bumstead, Breon Ansley, Terrence Ruffin, all of those guys. So just knowing that just really sort of gives me that tunnel vision to continue to put in the same work day in and day out. Bodybuilding's not easy. In many cases, it can be the hardest sport because you don't have the freedoms. Everyday freedoms get taken away from you. When I'm on prep, I can't go out with friends and eat, food at a restaurant. I have to walk around and I have to have my to-go containers, or I have to say no, I can't go out, or it's a very sort of different sport. It's a very selfish sport in a lot of ways. You may not be able to spend time with somebody because you have to be doing something. It can be very tough, but I feel as though if anything, it's a sport that'll show you who you are more than any other sport out there. Just because everything that goes into it, and it really does. What you put into bodybuilding is what you get out. You don't put in a certain benchmark and expect a major outpour, but it just also depends on the person. Some people are willing to just skate by, willing to just do the bare minimum and see where it takes them. Others, such as myself, with that same thread, want to push the envelope, want to make it to where, people, when they look at my physique, I want people to think like, wow, I've never seen that before. I don't want to be comparable to anybody. I want people to look at my physique and remember me for my physique. And that's just the way I think, and that's just what it boils down to. And going on with our second to last topic, where do I see myself in a few years? That is a very easy question. I see myself as an IFBB men's classic physique pro, and hopefully within a few years I'll be competing in the Olympia. So yeah. And alright guys, so we are on our final topic, and I kind of threw this one in just kind of to you guys can get to know me. Just because this is how to become a pro bodybuilder doesn't mean that you can't see what I'm like outside of the gym, right? So for the last topic I have here is, what are some interests outside of the gym? So, I mean, if you guys do pay attention to what I wear, I mean, you guys can pretty much tell I love anime. Anime is a huge passion of mine. My favorite anime is Black Clover. Second favorite, My Hero Academia. And then third, it's a toss-up between Dragon Ball, Fire Force. Jujutsu Kaisen is probably because not a lot of it has been animated yet. So I think Jujutsu will probably be in that third, and then fourth, you know, it gets messy from third on out. So anime is definitely a big interest of mine. Absolutely love anime. Just in a lot of ways, a lot of the characters like Asta really motivate me in the gym to really, you know, push past my limits and just get stronger and just never give up. And just, it's very motivating. A lot of people have these preconceived notions about anime and like, oh, that's just cartoons, but anime teaches you some pretty cool stuff, and especially in the sport of bodybuilding, to never give up. I mean, it's apparent more than ever in bodybuilding, much less every other sport. So that is a very big interest of mine. My second interest, I like playing video games. Since I have been into anime, video games have kind of been a little on the decline. I mean, I always still play video games, but you know, you're talking before bodybuilding, I was clocking in like 40 hours of game time, like just on my Xbox or PlayStation a week, plus school. So yeah, gaming was very big for me back in the day. I still do play games. I like JRPGs. My favorite game series of all time is Kingdom Hearts. Second is Persona, and then Final Fantasy. But yeah, other than that, I like spending time with my puppy Chi Chi. She's a long-haired Chihuahua. She's coming up on 6 years old. Wow, that's crazy. I can't believe she's 6 years old. But yeah, she's gonna be 6 on March 12th. So probably gonna do something special for her on that day. Probably make her a little steak, buy her a little bit of vanilla ice cream, and just let her enjoy her day. But other than that, guys, that is going to wrap up the How I Got Started video. Hopefully this video isn't over 15 minutes, because I don't know why, but YouTube, for some weird reason, every time I upload a video or try to upload a video over 15 minutes, it won't let me. Which they say because I'm not partnered, they won't let me upload anything over 15 minutes. Now, I don't necessarily believe that, because I see a lot of channels with a lot of throwaway channels uploading like hour-long videos, 2-hour-long videos. So that makes absolutely zero sense to me, how I can't even upload a 15-minute video. But I'm gonna do a little bit more research on it to see maybe if I can circumvent it, see if I could do something like a little backdoor strategy to upload a 15-minute video. But yeah, hopefully we can just go ahead and have the video as is with some nice music in the background and let you guys enjoy. But yeah, guys, that's gonna go ahead and wrap up this video of how I got started on my bodybuilding journey. If you guys did find this interesting and want to go ahead and follow my journey, please consider subscribing, as well as going on down to my Instagram, which is sun_Surian. You can find a link to it in the description of the video, and perhaps think about following me. I'm trying to get to 100 followers. Once I get 100 followers on Instagram, I will be doing a special giveaway of some Redcon 1 supplements. So definitely make sure you subscribe and follow, so that way you guys are instantly put in that drawing to get you some free supplements. So these supplements are top tier, though. They are very expensive, and they are the best in the business. So alright, guys, that's gonna do it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys for another video. Peace.